This is the video you've been waiting for. The Oticon Zeal versus Phonak Ultra Sphere. What are the pros and cons of both? Which is better? Let's find out.
Hearing aids for life, here's the answer.
This is a video I've been really excited to make. I just got back from the Phoenix event a few days ago. Then my dad came in to see me and asked how the weekend went, and I showed him the new Zeals. And he said, well, I want to try those. So I set him up with a set of Zeals for the last few days, and he has been in the Phonak Sphere Ultra since the day they came out. So he has a couple years of the Phonak Premium, and now he's been trying the Oticon Premium. I have discussed very little with him, so you're going to find out when I find out the pros, the cons of the Zeal. I'm super excited. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Okay. What are your initial thoughts with the Oticon Zeal?
I think the first thing is you hear more of what's around you. Things that I hadn't really noticed before. It's, I guess, more of a surround sound. I believe, and I hope I'm not making this up, consonants seem to be a little bit more clear, and my toughest person to listen to is my wife. She has a very high voice. She doesn't speak very forcefully, and I've really been listening and talking to her, and I hope I'm not making this up, but I think I hear her more clearly. And that's, for people who wear these, there's a word that you use a dozen times a day, and it's what? What? Sorry, huh? And I believe those were less. I did not talk to her today, but in my opinion, I use that word less.
You're not imagining the surround sound as you described it. A lot of the behind the ear products have multiple mics, and so they're intentionally directing the sound in front of you more. Oticon has taken the choice of trying to keep you in your environment more without the directionality, and still trying to make the voices come out more so over the background noise. So it's interesting you said that, because they brought that up at the conference.
Well, let me interject something. This morning, I played 2 hours of pickleball. I'm a pickleholic, sorry. And I noticed how much louder those balls hitting the rackets are, because my wife is a tennis player. She said, yeah, we hate those sounds. And I said, well, you're right, they're really loud. But what was really interesting, I was serving and the place was going on, and all of a sudden I could hear people to the side talking about me. And to the point that I looked, it's like, I have never heard that. So it was amazing that I heard them, because I heard my name. It's like, no, they were talking. I did very well today. The other part that, again, I feel that the sound is higher, that I'm hearing things at a higher, more of a treble, I guess would be the more accurate.
What he's describing there is a difference in mathematical algorithms. My experience as a clinician has been Oticon has more brilliance to their sound naturally compared to Phonak. Phonak goes for a more comfort-oriented approach. Oticon goes for more brilliance. So what's better? It just kind of depends. Each person prefers something a little different.
The word brilliance, that accurately describes it.
So my father has a very difficult loss, because his high frequencies are pretty much gone. And so when Phonak came out with their frequency compression, I put him in them day one, and it was a huge game changer for him. I remember you telling me all the beeps and bops and boops you were hearing you had never heard before. And so I've just kind of left him in Phonak since about 2009, I think, when that particular feature came out, because I knew they were so good at it. And so that I've always been a little hesitant to put him in a different brand because I'm like, well, he needs this. It's super important.
Funny you should say that. I have a Jeep that's about a year old. I didn't know it made a noise when a directional change. And to the extent it caught my attention, I'm going, what? I have not heard that before.
Oticon has their version of the same thing. I just honestly hadn't tried it very much. So the fact that it sounds like I'm getting success with my father's loss is a huge notch in Oticon's belt, because I'm going to be more comfortable using this with people with a similar loss such as his going forward. Let's talk about your Jeep. So you've got a real big engine in that. You go ahead and do your quick braggadocious thing.
Yeah, it's a 392, 405 horsepower, but who's bragging? Yeah.
So his Jeep's quite loud when you ride in it. So straight up, what do you think? Which is better, the Jeep easier to hear in? The Oticon or the Phonak for the sound of the Jeep?
You told me that I would hear it louder, quite honestly, and maybe it's because I'm used to it. I didn't notice any difference.
Okay, so no difference is still an answer. Let's talk about the comfort of these hearing aids a little bit. You know, we've talked about, here's this other hearing aid here. So my only real complaint with the Sphere is the size, how physical size of this behind the ear. So we've gone from a little larger behind the ear to completely in the ear. You have more in your ear now with these compared to just the rubber dome. It's only been a few days. Are you used to it yet?
The right ear, I don't even know they're in there. My left ear, I believe the canal is more sensitive because I do notice it. In fact, it just feels a little awkward. Doesn't hurt, but I think your ear or mine would have to get used to it. Whereas the right one, it was not a problem.
We might actually, when we're done with this video, mess with a couple different dome sizes, because he took these from me right after I got back on Monday morning, after I played with them for an hour, so I haven't even had a chance to play. But this video is more relevant than me playing with them, because I don't have hearing loss yet. So yes, you're here for my opinion. His opinion's far more relevant for you guys than mine, because he's been living with this loss for 30 years, somewhere in that range. So it's a big deal to have someone with that much experience two very, very high-end products. Again, we're talking the best of the best, or the best of the best of the best right now with these products.
One of the other things, again, because I really do take my pickleball pretty serious, and I was curious if they were going to move out, feel sweaty, and honestly, I didn't even know they were in my ear. And to me, that was important.
When you leave my office here after this interview, are you going to be wearing these Zeals, or are you going to put the Spheres back in?
I want to put the others back in to see the difference in the sound.
Do it right now.
All right, we can do that. There's a learning of how to get them out.
Something I did notice is that little cord is in there so deep, it can be a little harder to pull out sometimes.
Good grief.
That's the learning curve he's talking about, is the little wire that's used to pull it out and used to Bluetooth. Want me to stick my finger in your ear?
No, thank you very much. Finally got it.
Okay, so this is the first time you've had these in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of times when your brain gets used to one sound, then you put in a different sound. And I really don't know what he's going to say.
Now, as far as pure comfort, you can't really compare something that's big like this in your ear versus a little tiny thing, because they're more comfortable without something in your ear.
A pro of the Sphere is it is a little more comfortable than the all-in-the-ear Zeal. Okay, so how did my voice just change now that you have, I'd call this old reliable after 2 years in your ear. This is what you're used to. What are your immediate thoughts with
lower? It's a lower voice.
So frequency is lower, as in like I'm a little more bassy almost?
Very much.
Okay.
Yep.
How's the clarity compare between the two of them About the same?
Clarity is good. Again, you had an excellent terminology, and that is the brilliance is better with the Oticon.
The cord was hard to get out of your ear. We never quite got the left one, although we didn't mess with it to feel like it disappeared the same as the right one. What were some other cons of the Zeal product, if any?
Cons on which one? On
This is the Zeal. Those are the only 2 cons so far. Are there any other cons to it that you can think of?
No, again, anyone who's worn these has accidentally gone into the shower, and so we're always flipping our ears. And these have been very, very accommodating because they can dry out quickly and they're a little bit more waterproof. These, I have no idea, although if they're in your ear, should be less chance of getting water in the first place.
At the conference I was at, one of the original testers for it, she wore them for 24 hours straight, and she intentionally jumped in the shower and shampooed her hair and everything with them on, and they were just fine for her. Although Oticon was very quick to say, we do not recommend showering with hearing aids every day, but the reality of it is, when, not if, you hop in the shower with them, you're probably going to be just fine. My voice has changed with this one. It's been, a minute or 2 since you've had these back in. What sound do you prefer? This that you're used to, or the Zeal sound?
Because I've had these so long, my brain is used to that. So for right now, I'd probably say what I have, but that doesn't mean that it wouldn't accept the other and get used to a better brilliance.
So now that you've had these back in, what are you going to go home with?
I have to make a choice. Can I have both?
You can keep using these, is what I'm saying. You have to keep wearing them, or you can go back to these. Let's take cost out of this, because we haven't even talked dollars or cents or anything. That's what I'm saying. Just straight up apples comparison. What do you want? What would you prefer to use? Let's say for the next week, because this has been a couple of days.
Because of the comfort of these, I probably choose those because
don't say these. They don't know where your
okay,
fingers are
the
pointing.
Phonak.
So say the Phonak.
The Phonak that's in right now, because there's so little in my ear, comfort-wise, these are more comfortable.
The Phonak is more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the others, and again, it's my left ear that's the problem. It's not the right.
If I fix the left ear.
If it felt like the right, I'd probably go with those.
Okay. Stay tuned. Don't stay tuned. I'm not going to add it to this video. But I am going to go in the other room and see if I can't find an earbud that fits slightly different to make that more comfortable for him. So, if I were to do a number scale on, listen, you've had a lot, 10 sets of hearing aids at least in your lifetime. Scale of 1 to 10, what are the Phonak Sphere Ultra rating? What's your rating out of 10?
For this one?
No, what you're wearing right now. You're the ones you already own.
Very high. I'll be 10 out of 10.
What's the rating for the Zeal?
At this point, I'd give them the same.
Okay. I really didn't know what he was going to say on this one. This is a good example of, they're both great products, which doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form. I have a lot of the Zeals on the way. I'm going to get a lot more out. As I get more feedback from more of my patients, I'm going to make more videos about that. I'm, of course, need a chance to play with them more so I can give you my personal thoughts. My wife is going to try these out so I can get her thoughts and add it to the video. So this is just a little teaser video of more things to come with the Zeal, but I know there's a lot of questions out there of what's better. At this point, sounds like they're pretty much equal. And so if you were looking for something all in the ear, this is obviously going to be a no-brainer. But if you were just straight up comfort oriented, That's why we're still going to keep the Rick hearing aids. That's why they're not going to go away because of this new NXT style. This is going to be more comfortable because you just feel next to nothing in your ear. Do you have something to add?
Yes, because my hearing loss is pretty severe. I mean, you told me years ago I had the ears of a 95-year-old.
No, I said you look like a 95.
Well, that was that too.
Oh, okay.
I think for a majority of people, because of just appearance, they take these 2 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, I would personally, I mean, I just turned 50. If I needed something today, I would immediately start with the Zeal. Yes, because it would hide in my ear. Any final thoughts from you?
I'm just happy to hear.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for plenty of more Zeal content. Thanks for watching.
Hearing aids for life, here's the answer.